I'm very happy to be here today with Joe Finamore. For those of you who don't know Joe, his contribution to the Italian Cultural Center and to the Italian community dates back some 30, maybe 35 years. His commitment that I've witnessed personally from being on the board and as the ED is that he's really the sage of the board, the sage of the Il Centro operations, where he provides that cool, calming voice so that we can achieve a lot of things. Hi, Joe. How are you today?
Hi, Mario. Thank you. Thanks for the kind words.
Well, you're very welcome. They're well deserved. Now, Joe, you've been part of this community for years. Tell us what motivates you to stay involved with Il Centro.
Well, I never envisioned being connected for so long to Il Centro. It starts, with me, it started from a young age. I mean, my father, Ronaldo, was one of the founders of the center. So I've been involved since then because, all the stories of the Centro came home every night. And so from the earliest days when we opened in 1977, and I was still a teenager, later years of high school, we started there. Like my first thing there was organizing a pre-grad. I remember this back in 1978. We had 500 people. That was my first thing that I remember. Then, we went to school, university, and so on. Then after that, we got into OGGI, which is a club we started back in 1985, which transitioned into a position on the board in 1990, I guess. And then I've been in the board ever since. And mainly I'd say because, it's the people, right? I think you get to collaborate with people you wouldn't normally, and people with a similar background. So you engage in things that, you may or may not outside of that realm of the Il Centro, right? So, I mean, there's a lot, a ton of great memories and, ongoing great relationships that we even carry on today, right? So I've always carried on because, also because, I think we haven't filled the positions on the board that we'd like to fill with new people. And so I felt if I can lend a hand still, I will. But if there was a burgeoning demand of people wanting to be running for the board, I would probably just step aside, right? So yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. And we're glad you are. So I want to talk a little bit about OGGI, but you also served as president of Il Centro, didn't you?
Yeah, the longest serving president in the center's history. So 11 years.
Wow.
So like a quarter of our history, right? So you think about, I think about that was a pretty special time for me, for sure, right? Transitioning from my predecessor, Lino Nautila was president before me. And I served as on the executive for 7 years before I became president. So, working with him too, I think there was a lot of a different way of operating, more like a like a clubhouse kind of thing. Not we envisioned when I stepped in with a great team, professionals. I think of my friend Tony Marzatelli and Leonard Bruno, Dan Tucci. There's Ed Fontana, Marinella Michelin. I mean, we had a really great team, and for those years, we really were able to transition the center, making pretty marked changes. Like we're talking 1988. It really started with transforming the catering. I think that's when I hired Fabio. That was my task. Fabio was outdoor catering manager. As we with him over the years, we've transformed that into a really top-notch catering operation, and that really helped us because we needed the revenues and so on from catering and rentals. That's sort of our that's the only way really we've survived over the years. And really, we had to raise the quality of what the catering was. Up till then, it was very you know, it was pretty limited. You know, it was typical. You know, I'd go to a lot of banquets, of course, and so it was, you know, I was getting a little tired of pen and prime rib, right? Every Saturday night kind of thing. So, you know, we need to up our game here. And anyway, you know, Fabio's always been creative and wanting to move things forward and evolve the catering operations. So, you know, he's done a great job over the years. And yeah, so you know, over those years, I mean, I remember transforming our Italian school was just basically on site. And so basically at the time, there was another school operation called Kazi, which was at a lot of the schools throughout the Lower Mainland.
Yeah.
And they were making, well, they were trying to, you know, I'm not sure, there's a bit of a transition time. So at that, you know, I took the opportunity then to convince the consul general, then Rodolfo Bonavita, you know, just saying, you know what, just let the center take over all that. And, you know, you know, um, we've got a history, we've got, you know, we're an audited organization. So, I mean, everything is, you know, it's in black and white. I can't speak to other organizations out there
Yeah.
but, you know, and it was good for us because we needed to reach out to the community at that time. I think, you know, a lot of people, as you know, moved out to Burnaby and Coquitlam and so on and other places. So we needed to have that connection with them. And I think that was, you know, a really good move at the time to grow our school. And now it's kind of come full circle where people from those outreach locations prefer to come to do their schooling at the center rather than, you know, have it after school where they are. So that was the catering, the school was a big thing. And, you know, and then in like mid 2000s, we took upon ourselves to do a fairly large renovation of the ballroom and the whole kitchen and bring it up to, you know, state of the art level at the time. And I just remember the excitement around that, you know, when we actually got that completed. You know, I think sales in the following year went up $1 million. But there was just a general excitement of the space and just being able to, you know, celebrate in a more, you know, I don't know, in a nicer environment. And just, I think with the video screens, which was not something that you'd see at other facilities where, you know, visually you could celebrate your whatever you're celebrating. You've got the, you know, you've got the screens going on around you to add to your event. And that was all in-house. And it was something that others didn't really, you know, provide too much of. So that was a big transition for us. And, you know, I think everything was going well until, you know, we got hit with 2008, 2009, the economy crashed. The Lehman Brothers, you know, brought down the world economy. And so then it was kind of, you know, really difficult times. The whole, you know, I think the sort of, we lost steam there for a few years, right, until we got out of that and picked up again. But yeah, I think, you know, the years that I served as president was, you know, was a great time for me. It was a lot of commitment, a lot of work for sure. We didn't have an executive director, right? So we had 3 managers, you know, competent in their fields, and you know, we just couldn't find an executive director at that time that you know, really filled or checked all the boxes for us at the time. So, you know, anyway, it took a lot of time and effort, but we had a really good team. We're super committed volunteers, all of us, and they put in a lot of time, and you know, I think transformed the center in a lot of ways. So it was great. I mean, I can just remember so many great events, you know, over the years. It's almost too many to remember, but yeah, you know, I think back and all the great people, you know, and a lot of them are gone now, but fabulous, you know, community-minded people, right? So these are the ones that, you know, they come with a, you know, great attitude and really wanted to do something, share in their community and contribute and proud of their community, right? So those are the kind of people that, you know, I like to be associated with and spend time with over the years. And it's been really rewarding in that way. So, yeah. I could go on forever, but
Yeah, well, it continues, doesn't it? I mean, you've
yeah,
spoken about the transformation, and now we're on the verge of transforming the bocce courts into a sports facility, but still allowing the bocce players their time, as we found a creative way to make that happen.
yes.
Um, the redevelopment of the Osteria to revitalize and bring life to it, and really, it's about why you guys got involved and why you created OGGI, isn't it? Isn't that
Well,
maybe?
yeah, OGGI at the time, and I'm thinking, this is 1985, right? So we um, we started we started this club. There was a few of us. It was just a committee of the center, and basically, I think there had been a group before ours that was had started doing some things, but I guess somehow I got brought into it, and we decided to set up a whole new board or whatever it was at the time. We had elections and everything, and somehow I got elected president. I don't know how that happened. I got pushed into it, but I remember we started off just doing a bunch of social events, and it was like a really full calendar of events. Every month it was like 15, 20 things going on, right? So everybody always wanted to hang out and get together. So we're talking about just it'd be like either getting together to see a movie, or we would organize things at the center, like or preschool tournaments, bocce tournaments, you name it. We did those things in house, and some things around town, right? So, and then that would expand. Then we got into volleyball tournaments. So we have a volleyball league actually out of Vancouver College, and we ran every Sunday night, like mixed,
Yeah,
wells, and that ran for I don't know, 5-6 years. There was Serate in Piazza at the center. We started that, those using the piazza, and just organized a whole bunch of events. I chaired a couple of Miss Italias at that time. That was, the pageants were, in vogue at the time, right? So
yeah.
anyway, we did a couple of those, and that was interesting. It was fun. Working with young people, and us, it was really just a fun time. I think we did a lot of fun things together. Softball league, we ended up growing to about 300 members at one time at our peak. And I think the most memorable event of that whole thing was the Halloween party we had.
Yes.
It was like 800 people in the ballroom, everybody in costume. Like I don't think I saw a person without a costume on. And just to take that all in, I'd be up on the stage looking out at the sea of people, and it was just incredible. Great memory of that. And just a fun group. I think after a couple of years, we incorporated, actually became one of the Society of the Center. And that carried on for, like I did the first 5 years as president. And then a couple of years later, Laura Spedese took over as president and continued on. And then it kind of just petered out after that. And I don't know the reason. A lot of, there was a lot of, actually a lot of marriages came out of it. I think
Yes.
at one point, mine included, but I think at one time we counted over 30 couples got married, meeting through OGGI kind of thing. So.
Well, I think OGGI was what I would call Italian Tinder of the time, wasn't it?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, it's fantastic. But you know what? It's a great story, because I remember attending those functions, and specifically what you say, the Halloween party, where literally everybody was in costumes. You guys gave out awards. It was an incredible bash to be at for the city.
Yeah, I still remember. I mean, I remember there was groups that would come in, and themed groups, like there'd be like the Flintstones group, and they'd have a car that they made out of cardboard or whatever, and they carry that in, or the Viking group, and the whole thing. I mean, just to take that whole scene in, it's just indelibly embedded in my mind that those images are. It was a lot of fun, but we created a lot of fun for ourselves, and it was a good time, and we, like I said, got to meet a lot of new people through that too, right? And good friends that we carried on over the years. So yeah, really rewarding time.
Well, OGGI stands for today in Italian.
Yeah, and it actually the acronym is Onda Giovane Gruppo Italiano. So a wave of young Italians, basically, right? That was the thinking at the time. But yeah,
And,
OGGI is today, and here we are.
and here we are today. And I think, I know we've sat in on meetings and together, and we've talked about how that's almost a necessary requirement for us now, is to really engage the same group that your group engaged. It's really to take that same approach and bring new people to Il Centro. They'll be interested in new events, which is why we're changing up our thing here.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to some of those young people of Italian heritage, those young men and women, about how to do this and why the benefit?
Well, as I said, I think you got the opportunity to use a facilities like ours. I mean, obviously, we don't have everything that we want. I think after we do complete uh, the indoor soccer boccia court facility and bring up to date our osteria or whatever we're going to call it in the future. But I think just as a meeting space, a meeting place to get together and just brainstorm some ideas, you know, create some unique events that you wouldn't do otherwise, and then open the door for other people to come in and join you. And you meet new people with a similar background. They just you taking it from our cultural perspective and our heritage, even locally as Italo-Canadians. I mean,
Yeah.
it's very specific, right? But we have a lot of commonalities and things that we can laugh about that maybe other people don't appreciate, right? So it's nice, and you find that, right, when you get together with people. It's just it just hits home, with a lot of us. And I think even the younger generation is going to be the same, right? I mean. It's a great opportunity to do those things with, like I said, you start with the people even a small group, and then hopefully the ball will roll. Bring other people in a bit at a time, and expand your network of people. And nowadays you can do so much more, even with social media, and get in touch with people and so on, right, to bring them in. We didn't have that at that time, right? So it was mostly word of mouth and phoning people and stuff, right? So now, the opportunity is there, although, it's difficult to fight through all the other things out there that are enticing people and drawing them right and left, right? It's hard for, as we know, getting our message of Il Centro out and engaging people, because, there's 1.5 million distractions out there for people in this city, right? So yeah, but we can provide at least the space to get together, and it's our place, and that's the thing, that it's everybody's place. It's not limited just to members. It's open to everyone, and it's not just limited to Italians. I mean, we open our doors to everybody to enjoy our heritage, our culture, our background. So because there's a lot of people out there that. As I've always said, even, over the years, we're not going to force people to come to El Centro. I mean, basically it's, we laid it out there, programs, activities, and invite people's ideas and so on. But it's, we're not going to drag people out. It's the people that want to be here and want to celebrate those things and enjoy those things. And they can come from any ethnic background, and most of them, and a lot of them, as we know over the years, are not Italian, that come and enjoy a lot of our activities, whether Italian language programs or cultural events. I mean, they have a greater appreciation than a lot of Italians do, that don't, I don't know if they take it for granted, but they don't appreciate the richness of our culture and our heritage. I mean, it's just, it's an embarrassment of riches, really, that we have. And we just have to lay it out there for people, and we invite everybody to come, and that's what we're hoping for in our younger people too, that they take advantage and create something for themselves too, right? And we want to give them the space to do that. So you know, we I think we're always open to that, right? So we really encourage it. We hope that people come forward and get involved. Like I said, I've been there forever, but only because it's the enjoyment level. There's no you're not going to get any benefit unless you put a lot of time and effort in. It's that's like anything, right? But in the end, the rewards and satisfaction, is great, and something when you look back on it, it's something to really be relished, right? So yeah, I really hope and invite that young people to get involved, because I think it's great. Even professionally, committee work. We have a lot going on, and as you know, and at the board level as well, right? So we it's a great place to get involved with, and just grow, right? Because um, as an organization, it's unique in a lot of ways. There's a lot of facets to the Italian Cultural Center when, taken all together, that is unlike any other, right? So, I mean, you're talking about a school, Italian school, and, catering, and all the cultural programming, um, a museum, a library, all the things that go on there, festivals that we do, and all kinds of different events that we get involved with, whether on site or off site. We are, it's unique in a lot of ways. So I think it's fascinating. It's interesting to get involved with for anyone that's so inclined. So hopefully young people will see that and take up the opportunity.
Well, I think you've said it exceptionally well. It's also the diversity of offerings. So there's probably something for every young person in their interest that we can facilitate. And if not, we're looking to create new things. So it's a very good time to be involved. Joe, on behalf of the entire Italian community, especially those of us who enjoyed all the OG events as we grew up, I want to thank you, and I would be remiss if I didn't mention your lovely wife, Carla, who's also an integral part of our community, our board, and the Italian Cultural Center.
Thanks,
So
Mario.
thank you to both of you for everything that you've done and you continue to do. So thank you, and we'll see you very soon.
I'll pass it to Carla. Thanks so much. Take care. Take care, everybody.
I will, thanks.